I started hunting exotics because I wanted to, broaden the spectrum, so to speak. Chase some other stuff. Put some other cool mounts on the wall. I always wanted to travel and hunt. Chasing different species and getting hunts on film has always been a dream of mine. My name is Zach Adams. I grew up in Berlin Center, little farm town, about 20 minutes southwest of Youngstown. First time I recall, my dad ever taking me out hunting. I don't know how old I was. I was maybe 5 or 6, and there was an old wooden tree stand, back in the corner of the one field. And the first time I ever went out with him, we saw 3 or 4 does, and I remember, it was the most exciting thing I'd ever experienced. I've shot Corsican down here, black Hawaiian, elk, fallow. I brought my dad down for a hog hunt this year for Father's Day, which was pretty neat. If there's one thing that I can capture with this, I really hope to open people's eyes to what it's really like. Most times, people have this misconception that, you do a game preserve hunt and it's easier, than hunting your local deer. And it's really not. This is not what a lot of people think it is. It's a lot of, hard terrain. It's a lot of stuff that, it's hard to get close to. And, if you're not accurate or, you don't know where that arrow or where that bullet's gonna land, they're gonna wear you out in a hurry. The accommodations down here are awesome. They got cable TV, they got comfy beds, they got comfy couches, they got coffee on every morning. It's pretty hard to beat. It's like being at home, but there's no kids running around, nothing like that. It's just quiet. It's way back here in the middle of nowhere. You walk in, you automatically know what you're getting into. They got fallow, they got boar, they got cyca, they got muntjacs, they got all kinds of cool stuff on the wall down here. So as soon as you walk in, you're coming to a quality place. They're gonna produce.
When we went to Jeremy's out there, as soon as we sat down,
What happens if I need to borrow something? As far as the terrain goes, it's all hills. Where I grew up, it's all flat. I mean, down here you could walk what feels like 1.5 miles, but really you only made it 30 yards up one of the sides of one of these mountains. It'll kick your butt in a hurry if you're not ready for it. It rained all day long. We were watching the weather all week long. It was back and forth. Was it going to rain? Was it not going to rain? It did end up raining. And not only did it rain, it poured for hours. By the time that we got done, we were drenched. Our boots were wet. We were miserable. We walked, 3-4 miles back up in there. It just made it all that much more worth it.
We're hunting fallow deer today. We got a couple out here. We got a chocolate and they got a white one. I'd like to find the white one.
Mm-hmm.
I like the white a lot. My buddy Tyler's out here. He's out here with his wife and his stepson's with him. They're going after white tails and he's going after a cyca as well. So it should be a pretty good hunt. It's the first time I came down here. I told him, I was like, hey, I said, if you get us on anything, you need to give me probably a good minute. Duck behind a tree or just tuck ourselves in somewhere to kind of get my breath and compose myself to make sure I can get a good shot off.
Double D, they have, you know, a revolving, you know, inventory, so to speak. You know, Danny and Adam, they do a real good job of keeping stuff, you know, in here and keeping it budget friendly and keeping it accessible to you. It's a great place to come, you know, for somebody who might have a hard time getting off work for maybe a full week to head out west, or, you know, doesn't really have the means to get, you know, up north or, you know, down south Texas.
There you go. See that? Yep.
They offer, you know, hogs. They offer all different rams. They got, you know, anything from your Dall sheep, Audads, Corsicans, Black Hawaiians. They got the Jacob's Four Horns, you know, all the way up through your fallow deer, your axis, your Sika, elk, whitetails. In spring they offer turkey hunts. I mean, they're pretty versatile. You know, they have a lot of different species that they cover. So at any given time of the year, if you want to, you know, get out and, you know, scratch your trigger finger, they got something for you. The fallow deer, you know, we were having a hard time getting on him, and we finally got to where we were within 75, 80 yards of him, and he knew we were there but didn't quite know what we were. And we kind of worked along the top of this old logging road, and he was down in a big blowdown, and there was him and another big chocolate fallow down there. When I shot, he was perfectly, you know, broadside. I had just a small hole to get through in the blowdown that was in front of him. I knew that either I was going to sneak it through and it was going to be a great shot, or it was going to deflect and go 20 feet above him. When I shot, he was 56 yards, and right when I released the arrow, he started to wheel, and when he started to wheel, I buried that, you know, that arrow right in his front shoulder. So we looked over the footage, and I was kind of worried about it. You know, we saw, you know, there was maybe 6-7 inches of penetration, but it did end up being enough, you know, to get the job done. He ran about 100 yards and he went down.
I kind of like the character on this one. This one's kind of neat.
Cool.
This is a lot bigger than what the picture he sent me 2 months ago when he was in velvet.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Awesome.
That was a good thing.
Right? That's never a bad
That's what I was
thing.
talking to him like a week ago. He's like, I'll tell you what, he's like, I'll never price fallow deer in velvet ever again. He's like, this is blown up in the last month.
Yeah.
Tell you what, that elk, I was really surprised at the elk. She came out, she was behind a tree, and, you know, it was her and there was another cow that she was with, and they walked out, you know, kind of crested the hill and walked behind this tree. And when she popped out the other side for her to see the arrow, I mean, it was money. She just took it. She did end up going down, but like I said, I thought I missed it first because she didn't jump, she didn't run, she just took it.
All right, so they said this was going to be the hardest one to kill, you know, out of what we came to hunt today. It definitely was challenging. If you look around, there's a lot of hills around here. Hard to get up and down. I don't know if we got the kill shot on film though. We said the red light was blinking for the battery, so hopefully we got it. If not, we got the recovery. Good day out here. It's always a good time coming down with Adam and Danny hunting down here. I've always wanted to kill a fallow. I always wanted to kill an elk. Today I got to do both. And luckily I got a good job and a good wife that let me come out and chase what I'm passionate about, and it worked out good. Another good trip down here. You're gonna need to come up and help.
Dude, I've never been so excited for a shower.
As far as post hunt, you come down the hill and they got a skinning shed up top. They take care of all the field dressing for you. And you never got to get your hands dirty. You come down, you can clean yourself up, take a shower if you want to, relax. They'll order it for you. You can either put it in a cooler, take it home with you, you take care of it, or they have a processor out here. He takes care of everything for you. They'll package it up and you don't have to lift a finger. Of all the hunts that I've done and places I've traveled hunting, I appreciate this probably more than any of them, because we worked for this one today. This was not an easy hunt. The weather was bad, the terrain was bad, the mud was bad. The only things that worked out good today were the shots. There's a stigma around high fence hunts that a lot of people have, that they think that it's raised in a barn and they're just gonna cut it loose and it's gonna be easy. And that's not the case at all. They don't really have any contact with humans, so they don't want to be close to humans. So you get close to them, they're going to be hightailing the other direction in a hurry. If you come down here, come down with an open mind, you're going to have a good time. But don't come down here thinking this is easy. These things, they move up and down these mountains like it's nothing. And for you to get up and down them, you better be in shape or have a lot of patience. Don't come down here thinking that you're going to get a 15, 20 yard shot every time. You need to come down ready and be proficient, shoot extended yardages, because you might get one chance in a day. If you don't make it count, that's what it is.
Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed watching that as much as we enjoyed making it for you. We had a lot of fun doing that, but the weather that day was awful. When we finished up with the interviews inside the cabin at Double D, we decided, hey, we're just gonna pack things up, we're gonna head home, and we're gonna finish this outro later. Luke did an amazing job. He spent a ton of time on the editing, which you guys can see here. And we spent a lot of nights up late talking about the video, talking about what our plans were for the future, talking about what a name could be. And for months we couldn't come up with a name. Nothing just came and felt right. It felt too generic or too cookie cutter for what we really wanted to do. We wanted to make an impression on people, and we wanted to show people a different side of the hunting industry that a lot of people are afraid of. And one night, we were having one of these discussions, and he was talking about this great hunting spot that he looked forward to every year. And I told him about this, this one spot in a field edge that growing up, my dad, my brother, and myself used to hunt. And that one spot meant the world to me, because that was a spot we would hunt during gun season. And that was a spot that if you go and you sat, you knew you were going to see deer at some point in time or another, especially if the corn was cut. And there wasn't a stand there wasn't a blind, it was just an old white bucket sitting in a fence row. And we just kind of stopped, and he says, that's the one. And I said, yeah. And that's how we became White Bucket Outdoors.